This video I'm going to show you how to create a pivot table in Excel. Right here I've got just an exported list of information, and you can see that the values are kind of mixed up between round duct and rectangular duct. Line items are individual, so this was basically the properties of every element in a model. You might use it for something else. It could be any type of data. But I'll show you how to turn this into a dynamic worksheet that will do all your totals and everything for you. First thing I do is I like to select all of the columns, and the reason I do that instead of just selecting all the cells is if you update the source information, or this data right here, your pivot table doesn't need to be recreated. This will basically accept every single change that you make. As long as there aren't extra columns, there's only extra rows. So I select those, and then I'm going to click Insert up here, Pivot Table, and it says Select Arrange. I already did. I'm going to put it on a new worksheet. So now I have my sheet 1. I'll just rename this table so people know. Now when I click into this table, I have a fields list that I can choose what I want to actually report. So I'm going to go ahead and report description, size 1, size 2, and length. And for me, I really like to drag the length over to values because I want that to be totaled. We're basically going to get the total linear footage of duct on this. And I'm going to right click, or click on this, left click, and go to value, field settings. Change this from count of length to sum of length, and then number format to number, and I'll just put 1 decimal place. So what that's doing is it's saying, hey, instead of counting the rows, I want you to sum the total of the rows, and this is basically linear footage based on the item here. The next thing that I want to do is under the options, under pivot table options up here, I want to remove these buttons. I don't want to see those over here. Click on design and remove the blank line after each item. Under report layout, I always like to use tabular form. I'm going to do not repeat label, or excuse me, repeat all label items, and you'll see that'll fill in the information in this far left column. And then I do off for rows and columns for grand totals, and do not show subtotals. And now my table looks clean. It looks very similar to this table over here, except I took out a couple of columns and it condensed any information. So it totaled up all of my 6x4 elbows and gave me a total length of that, or if I wanted just duct. Excuse me. Now if you wanted it to compress a little bit more, you could take out the size, and now it's really going to total everything by the fitting type. And again, it really just depends on what you're trying to do with that. Now, the reason I didn't put type and service in there is I want to, inside of my pivot table, click Insert and add a slicer for type and service. By doing that, that gives me a graphical way to select just rectangular duct and get my footage from that, or just round duct and get my footage from that. Looking at this, it probably would be helpful to have the total, so I'm going to add that back in and say grand total for, I can turn on for rows and columns. Another thing you can do when you select a slicer, you can go into the options and split the columns up. You can spread this slicer out a little bit so you can see all the different services. Now the benefit of having this, rather than having a big table and using filters and formulas to sort your data, now I can go in here, just select rectangular duct that was supply medium pressure, and I know I've got 447 linear feet. Hope that helps.